Well, hello. Hey, Sandra. I am so glad to see you in the building. You coming to hang out and support somebody we know well. I'm excited today. Welcome. We're doing another test. I tested yesterday and I am continuing to test because I'm endeavoring to improve the experience for guests and co hosts on the Purpose and Productivity Show and another show that's coming up that you don't even know about. But I have two of my besties hanging out with me today. I hit them up today and said, hey, come and help a sister out. And of course they did because it's who they are and it's who their spirit is. You may know them, you may not, but going to you're going to learn about them a little bit today. And one of them is has the show. She's built a phenomenal community, and I can't wait because she's going to talk about that and how she's done that in the summit that's coming up in February. But I attribute me becoming a stark, raving, mad Ravens fan. So I would love for you all to welcome Ravens Talk with Yolanda host, Yolanda B, to the stage. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today, Yolanda.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, Florence, and thank you for having me.
Awesome. Glad to have you with us. The other person we have with us today is she's my transformation coach, but she doesn't do the transforming. She just ushers me into the space. And she's also going to be one of my guest speakers in February as we celebrate Black History Month. Uh, you all may know her, you may not, but you'll learn a whole lot more about her. Another phenomenal woman, as the saying goes, Miss Toronado. Glad to have you. Welcome in with us today.
It is a pleasure to be here, and I just thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Well, we're going to have a brief conversation today. I see a couple folks in the chat who we know, and I want to say hello to them. We have David Hunt, and I did not set up. Look, I tested everything except what the comments were going to look like, and I'm still jacking them up, and that's not even good. I give up. I didn't pay attention to this part because I didn't expect to have to do it, but that's okay. So David is messing with your red car, Yolanda. I mean, Tora. He's beeping up the driveway. And we have Sandra from your community here, Tora, hanging out with us. So I will tell you all, if you have questions, get your questions in, because I'm not keeping these ladies here all afternoon. They're giving up family time and other time to hang out with me, and I appreciate it. So we're gonna have a quick conversation today. Just a couple three items I want to cover with you all. And I'm going to start with just asking you a question. What is exciting you and you're looking forward to in 2026? I kind of gave you a couple of questions. You can go whichever way you want with that first question today. And while you're doing that, I'm going to try to get the comments right. Who wants to go first? Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna call
Yolanda's
on
all
some.
dressed up, so I'm going to let her go first.
I love Tora. She is awesome. First, want to say hello to everybody who is already joining the chat. If you're watching this on replay, thanks for joining. Welcome. David Hunt has a very exciting afternoon coming up in about less than an hour. So hopefully the Patriots can get it done. But going back to Florence's question, what am I looking forward to this upcoming year? In terms of my channel, Ravens Talk with Yolanda on YouTube, what I'm looking forward to is I'm looking forward to the fact that we just hired a new head coach, and there's been a lot of buzz around that. If you are a football fan or if you're into sports, you understand that like it starts with your leadership. And for us, we now have a new head coach, and that means more content. Whereas last year I had to take a sort of a step back just a bit because I relocated from the DC area back home to Florida, and it was just too much to try to keep up with relocating, starting a new job, and keeping my channel above board, above water. And somehow I managed, but this year, I'm looking forward to being more consistent in my content creation. And there's a lot of things to report about with the Ravens this year. So that would be kind of top of my list, as well as learning more about what my audience wants to hear. I was watching a YouTuber the other day, and he gave a tip. A question was asked in his live stream, and the question was, as a content creator or someone who wants to start in content creation, what best tips or what best advice do you have? And the comment was, create content that is purposeful, not just for you, but for those who are watching. So that's what I want to be able to do this upcoming year, find out what it is my audience wants to hear, make sure that I can deliver it in the most authentic and organic way that's true to myself, but it's also rewarding for those who are watching my channel.
Awesome. Glad I'm trying to do too many things. Glad to hear that. I'm excited. Let me just tell you, Yolanda, I think I shared this with you. I derailed a job meeting talking about the Ravens and this new coach. They were like,
Oh,
"Florence." I was like, just hear me. I got to get this out. We got a new head coach and I'm hoping it's going to be better. I'm
yes,
still
has to
learning.
be.
So I'm blaming you. I just want you to know I am blaming you. I am derailing my job. I'm talking
Tell
about
him to
the
come over and talk to
Ravens.
me about it.
But
It's
it
funny.
is wonderful. It is funny because the person who spent, I'm not gonna say how many years, saying I hate football. Now, what the heck? What is this about? This is all you. This is I do want to know what the difference between a D line coordinator and a defense coordinator is. I don't understand the difference between those two things. So you can do a video and teach me. You're doing your videos for me. You know this, right? So this is how I'm learning.
Absolutely. You got
Just say,
it.
Florence, this is for you. I know you're learning. You're gonna get it one day. You're gonna get it. Tara,
Awesome.
I'm
You
gonna
will.
I'm gonna come to you, ma'am, and have you answer what you're excited about, what you're looking forward to, whatever you want to share with what you're doing with your content business, your marketing business, and all of those things in 2026.
2026, man. Where do I start on the list? My main focus this year is building a community platform. And you may say, well, YouTube's already a community platform. Well, it is and it isn't, you know? And, as you mentioned, I'll be speaking on emotional commerce, at the Iron Sharpens Iron Summit. But, the way that I look at it is building this community platform that's specifically designed for engagement and transformation, not just content. Because I can get a great video idea and I think it sounds great, and I can convince someone else, I can call Yolanda and be like, what do you think? You should be like, that sounds great. But it's not what the community wants. So this year for me, is about building structure, a place that people can actually plug into to refuel. Because, I found out in my research and, going back through the comments that most people don't need another video. What they need is a rhythm, a framework, something that they can build on and know that it's a sure source that they can come to. And I'm also looking at group centered coaching, because each morning I say, I am your devotional strategist and transformation coach, but the Holy Spirit does the transforming. So I'm really looking at formulating and putting together group centered coaching, because I truly believe that people grow faster when they realize, hey, it's not just me. And I strongly believe that we grow better in community, because seeing someone else name that exact struggle is like they're speaking directly to you. That helps to move the shame, blame, or guilt that's behind that, and it builds momentum. So that's what I'm working on, is more deeper community engagement, and also that breakout structure of it, whether I do it on school or on circle, but just really finding the best place that fits everyone.
Ooh, ooh, powerful goals. You all, this is the power.
Mm.
These two, this is the power that's coming. I'm still getting it together. This is the power that's coming in February. I'm just the usher. In fact, I'm usually the usher out in the hallway. I think that's what you tell me all the time, Tora. I'll be out in the
My number one
hallway.
usher.
Number one, I'll be, out there trying to usher people in, and that is something I love. I actually truly don't like being up front. I prefer to be in the background, and I've always been that way. So we're going to move on to our second topic because our producer in the back has been telling me we're off schedule. So the second question is, let me get my list of questions. Y'all remember what I said? I'm gonna blame this on being too old because I can't remember my name half the time.
What is it that we do? Who do we
Yeah. What do
serve?
you? Yep. What do you
Anything
do?
new
Who
and
do you
exciting for you
serve?
and your content?
Yep. So who do you serve? Who are you? Who do you really? Who do you desire to reach? And I'm gonna say it this way: who do you know you have been ordained to reach? You have been anointed to reach. That is a very different question than I think I want to talk about this thing. But there are a specific group of people that you were placed specifically on earth through what the mechanism and the avenue that you've been given to reach. Because there's always a message in the message, and you both have it very strong in different ways. So I'm going to start with Tora this time. Who do you serve? Who do you reach? And then we're going to wrap up.
I serve and reach two groups. The first group being people who love God, and there's nothing you can do or say to convince them otherwise. People who love God but feel stuck in cycles that they can't seem to break. They've heard 1,000 sermons, but they're still like, I can't put my, finger on this. Why am I not moving forward and growing? And the second group of people that I serve and reach are people who aren't sure what they believe anymore, but they know that they're tired of doing life alone. That something's off. They can't just quite figure out what it is. And usually, it's getting to that root of, okay, one of the questions that I like to ask is, who did this to you? Let's start from there first. So those two groups of people who love God, but then also people who aren't sure, what it is that they believe, and moving them from overthinking faith to just living it with clarity so it shows up in every habit, not just feelings.
Wow. It shows up in habits, not just. Okay, so there's gonna be a Just Tornado mug or a T-shirt. It shows up in habits, not just feelings. I'm just saying. I'm speaking it into existence. That it's coming, y'all. It is coming. It's coming.
Because we're emotional people. So the
We
first
are.
reaction is, I'm going to come at you for my feelings. But, if, as I always say, what does the rule book say? We can't move on feeling. We move on habit. We move on consistency and transformation. So we have to move beyond, how do they say? It's not about your feelings. We have to move from that into solid habits and frameworks.
I just want y'all to see what David Hunt. I thought I had fixed this. I know it's teeny tiny. I'm trying, y'all. Me and Ecam not having a good day today. I should have planned this better, but I'm testing, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna read it. The real Florence Donald, Lieutenant Colonel. No, no. I'm gonna go to Miss Yolanda and have her talk to us so that I can learn more and stop feeling bad. Miss Yolanda, it's all on you, ma'am.
Who am I destined to reach through my content? I believe that I'm destined to reach not just Ravens fans, because I do believe that's the start of where I'm going. That is certainly a foundation, it's a building block. But in my quest for a broader audience, in my quest for bigger, right? Because God always gives you a dream or he always gives you something. And in your mind, you're thinking, oh, this on a smaller scale or this on a small scale is really nice. But God is always calling us to greater. He's always calling us to bigger and dream bigger. And what I can envision for myself and where I'm headed this year, it's more about reaching the masses as opposed to just a concentrated Ravens fan base. So there will be And I don't want to give all the fun away, but I'll share a little bit about where I'd like to see my channel or where I'm trying to bring my channel into something more on the not just I talk about the Ravens, but I talk about a sport that is predominantly male. I talk in a space that is predominantly male that really doesn't have a lot of female correspondence, a lot of female engagement. And so I'd love to broaden my reach in terms of not just Ravens, but the NFL as a whole.
Told y'all. Power, power, power. Both. Both of them. Both of them. Superpower. I am so excited. This has been it's been a little rough, but that's okay. I'm okay with testing and rough. Um, Thank you all for who have shown up in chat today. Uh, you can check out both of these powerhouses on their individual channels. Uh, Yolanda is Yolanda B on YouTube, or Ravens Talk with Yolanda. And Tora is just Tornado, but they're going to tell you about other things if they want to tell you where else to reach them here in a minute. But I want to shift and this has been a completely different kind of experience for us as we test this back end communication. And I would love to have you just share openly, frankly, out in the open, the good and the things where we can improve. Because I'm learning, and the only way I'm going to get better, and we're going to get better as a team, is by taking the feedback in and being really serious about taking it in so we improve. So I started with Tora the last time. This time I'm going to start with Miss Yolanda. Any feedback? I know this has been a little rough, but that's okay. I can take it.
No, I think this has been very smooth sailing. I would say that I've never had a green room experience where I'm able to communicate with a program producer directly as opposed to the same old where we send a message in in a direct chat like, oh, lighting is off or sound isn't working or microphone is muted. But this is more personal. This is much more, I think, effective because you're able to have a smoother run of show because you have that direct conversation. And I do mean direct conversation, not just a text message, but an actual, you're hearing someone audibly tell you or guide you if you have a question or if an emergency pops up. Because guess what? When you go live, life happens and doorbells ring, dogs bark, babies cry, lights go out. I mean, snowstorms happen and electricity, all of the things, right? So having that one-on-one where you have an access to a producer in real time, it really does benefit, I think. And it's something that I was really pleasantly surprised about. So thank you very much for having me and allowing me to experience something that me as a novice with when it comes to tech, uh, I learned something today, very valuable. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. Miss Tora?
I want to lead out by saying anyone can pull a trigger, but can you hit the target? And for me, this shows execution and excellence. Because with the summit upcoming, it wasn't, okay, well, let's just wait to the last minute and we're going to wing it. This shows the heart and the preparation that really goes into, this world of what we call making content. Oftentimes people think, okay, you just sit down and they say, just go live, just hit the go live button. Right. But this really shows the intention behind it. So, me personally, as Yolanda said, I'm really glad we did this because it lets me get a feel and a lay of the land before the summit. So I'm not trying to, navigate in real time. As Yolanda said, you never know what's going to happen once you do hit go live. Stuff starts falling down, people knock on doors, you just never know. So I am thankful for this so that on that day of, instead of trying to figure out how to navigate this in real time, I know what's coming. So I say you hit the bullseye with this, Florence. Thank you.
Oop, wrong button. Oh. So, gang, this is time where uh, again, we're testing. This is a whole back-end communication system where we've got a crew in the background giving us direction, as was said. We're actually coming to you through Zoom and Ecamm, and I put this together very quickly and to practice. What do you mean no sound? I'm seeing sound come through, and I'm on the right microphone. Um, so I am thankful even for the opportunity, and I want to share that I didn't come up with this by myself while we're doing this. I am a part of an organization and a community. I'm hearing folks are telling me I'm muted, but I'm not. I am not muted. I'm watching. Yeah, because I'm not muted. I'm watching myself talk here. Okay, thank you, there's a delay. Thank you for confirming that, Sandra. But I started connecting with a community by the name of Office Hours Global, and it is an organization that is full of media and production professionals, very high end. But I'm taking what I'm learning there and learning to apply it on my small scale. And what it is presenting is there are more effective ways in more productive ways. It is much more productive to have a producer or a technical director in the back end giving us direction than us trying to keep track of what's scrolling on the screen and miss an instruction from the technical director because we're paying attention to our community, those of you who are in chatting with us, conversating with us as well. And it also, we're getting direction on timing. Are we ahead of schedule or behind schedule, or what do we need to do? So, all of those things are possible because of this technology. It's just teaching. So, I think we've got a few more minutes. If I heard correctly, I'm going to bring both Yolanda and Tora back on screen, and we're gonna wrap this puppy up, and we can just hang out and have a good time. And then we're gonna close this up. I was muted that time. You got anything else you want to chit chat about before we close this up, and I let you all get back to your day?
Yes, I'd like to know a little bit more about how you are able to, or what platform you use, and how you're able to pull this off so seamlessly with Ecamm as your main live streaming platform, but also having something else, another program running in the background, I'm assuming, to
Mhm.
allow for your producer to be able to run the show smoothly.
Sh- Sure. So the program that we're using for communication is called SpaceComms, SpaceCommz.io, spacecoms.io. It is a web-based communication platform, and if you've ever worked in production, most of the time they use a hardware-based solution that requires bunches of computers and all this stuff. I didn't want that. So a member of the Office Hours Global community developed this application and put it out. And I was like, I'll try it. So I tried it a few months ago. And then I, Tuesday of this past week, this was what really unlocked for me. The show, which is a large show, and it has anywhere from somewhere around 10 to 15 people in the crew in the back end when you see them in a YouTube show that's produced every day. Giving direction, answering questions, just guiding the show. So I was in the back end on this past Tuesday because there was a big giveaway by Black Magic as part of the show that was being produced. And so I was able to hear the calls, the conversations, and I was able to watch how it affected the show. So seeing it in real time triggered me to understand what was possible and not just hearing about it, because I've been hearing about it for a couple of years, but I hadn't done it. I hadn't experienced it. And because the office hours show is produced or it comes, they use Zoom. They use Zoom. Now they use other parts of Zoom than what I'm using, but they basically the core of it is how the audience shows up is Zoom and some of the additional Zoom capabilities like Zoom ISO and all this other stuff. But the communications piece was critical so the host could get direction. So if you can imagine, for example, this big giveaway on last Tuesday, once the back end crew had verified the winner, they were able to tell the host, hey, the winner's been verified. And the winner, then the host could say, hey, we verified it. Blackmagic is going to send you this device. If there was a delay, like unfortunately some technical things happened on Tuesday and the I could hear the engineer in charge seeing who they had back online and who they didn't. So lots of communication that I witnessed and that's really how it came to be and I was like, okay, we'll try it. Now, the good thing is if you have a really small team, Spacecom.0 comes with 2 licenses free. So you can test it for free. So for example, Yolanda, if you and Hendo want to have one other person who's acting like a producer in the back, one of you can be on listen only as guest, and one of you can be because one of you, whoever account it is, you're going to be and be able to go two-way. And then you can have unlimited listen only. So if you have a bunch of guests, you can have 10 people in your back end they can hear. And if you absolutely need to do what we did, which is we have the two-way conversation through Zoom. So I just did brought up Ecamm for Zoom, do our normal Ecamm thing that we do every day. And since Spacecom is a cloud-based solution, gave you each your logins to Spacecoms because you each have your own, and that'll just stay there. You can come in, and that was it. Like it was really pretty straightforward once I understood. I started to see the art of the possible, if that makes
Awesome.
sense. Yeah. So if you want
Yeah,
to
it
try
does.
it, yeah, you get 2 free licenses and they'll just work. So if you decide you want to test it, I'll be glad to test with you on your own system.
Thank you. Yes, thank you
Mhm.
for the information. Very
You're
helpful.
welcome. I hear you. I just got direction from the producer in my ear. Miss Tora, anything from you? We got
Yeah, just one quick question. I know there's a graduation coming up this Tuesday
oh,
night,
I
and
forgot
I
about
would just
that.
like to know a little bit more about that and where other people can come and support you. And then also just if you can just summarize real quick, how did going through that blueprint help you in shaping Iron Sharpens Iron?
So Tuesday night, I spent it was actually a little bit more, but a 90-day program called A-List Digital Footprint. And through that, I really went through and looked at my digital presence. Did an assessment where we started so I knew exactly where I was starting. Was it what I wanted, what I expected on just across the board? Any social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it. Email, was my email system what I wanted it to be? Was my website what it should be? What need like the whole gamut, digital footprint. So did an assessment to start the program, and then every week we had homework to do to address different parts of our digital footprint, and um, and every week we met as a cohort to talk about wins, where we were struggling, what we needed to do next, how we were coming along. And that core cohort is still together. There were 8 of us going through the program. What it did was, this is going to sound like when I learned this, I was like, y'all heard me say when I was going through the program, I'm doing now what my brother told me to do 3 years ago, except I didn't understand what he was telling me. Th- Going through this program, I was able to get enough to understand what he was telling me, and I was going through other people who were learning alongside me, so we could ask the really dumb questions and not feel so bad because there were other people in the class that didn't understand either. So, one of the first things was figuring out how to get your online name, your handle, to be the same on every platform. That is not an easy task. You would think it's me, but it's not because different platforms have different rules. You can only be so long. You have to be at least this long. This one you can use special characters and that one you can't use special characters. This one is going to convert like I'm like ay ay ay. But going through that, yes sir. Um what it affected was when I went to put the site together, the landing page, all of the various communication, how I structured the emails that go out that announced it, that said it was there, putting the pricing together, putting together what people would receive, what their experience would be, because that was a part of it. I was able to work through it, that whole process differently than the way I was just thinking of an online event. I was able to think about not only my experience, but the experience of the guest instructors who are coming in and the experience of the people who will attend. So Tuesday we get to celebrate the 8 of us who went through this program together. I had, it was doing a shoot for in person with the coach Kirk Nugent. He came to Maryland. It was weird because half of us were in Maryland and half of us were in Alabama. So he came to Maryland, spent 2 days, did some photo shoots, some video shoots, some interviews, and all kind of stuff. And I don't know what it's going to look like when he's finished. We'll see it on Tuesday. He won't tell us. So we'll see what it ended up being. Um, but yeah, it was a marvelous experience, and it has completely changed my approach to the community, my approach to what I'm doing here in live streaming, my approach to working with co-hosts and guests. It has made me you know, the scales fall off your eyes. It was truly a time of the scales falling off my eyes. 'Cause when you start and you start with having no background, it's a completely different experience when you start when you know what you're doing. I started this stuff with not knowing anything about live streaming or making videos or anything. Like, literally, I knew nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. I did not even own well, I did. I owned a camera, but it was just because I thought I had to have a camera to go into meetings, but how they actually worked, I didn't know any of that. Now I pay attention to all of it. Thank to you all. I know that was a long
That's
answer. I'm
awesome.
sorry.
No, that's okay. Do you have a link?
The link
Will
is
will it be
oh,
live
I forgot.
streamed
The link is I'll drop it in chat, but it's kirkrnugent.live/grad. And it's free to come. Anybody can sign up to come and participate. I think it's at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's on my
on this
calendar.
Tuesday?
Yeah, so you go there, you register. It's a Zoom registration. You register and come through, have fun, hang out, heckle me a little bit. It's all good. I can take it. It's all good. So I
Good.
thank you all for being here, and y'all keep putting me out there because I like be forgetting to say stuff like that. I forget. So thanks everybody for showing up. This has been a blast. It's impromptu. There's nothing formal happening here. It's just learning together and leveling up how we get things done. I appreciate you. Yolanda, Tora, tell the people how to reach you, and then we're going to go home. I'm going to start with Miss Tora.
Well, as they say, just Google me, just tornado, and you'll find me.
And you can find me right here on YouTube at Ravens Talk with Yolanda. You can also follow me on X at Yolanda ESQ1908.
All right, gang. See you all the next time. Have a David Hunt. I am not general. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Be blessed.